to all the dispossessed youth of Africa, for perpetuation of communion with ancestral spirits through the fight for African freedom, and in the firm faith that the dead, the living, and the unborn will unite to build the destroyed shrines. Selah. Hello and welcome, beloveds, to another episode of Wake Up Africa. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. How you doing? How's everything going? I really do pray that you are well in all your ways and that you're moving into living life truly, truly, truly on your own terms. We really want to thank every single person that has subscribed to the channel. Special shout out, of course, to our Patreon family. Thank you so much for supporting us on that platform. We have shared an epic book that should literally be in everyone's library on that platform. So definitely consider joining us for as little as $2 a month for that. Beloveds, a lot of people in Africa may still be so deep in the religious psychosis that they don't understand how much their truth has been manipulated, has been controlled, and has been used as a form of mental imprisonment. And this brings me to the story. A couple of days ago, I talked about how NASA was going to blow up the International Space Station. You guys should check out that video and check out the comments. So much truth in them. But now, NASA has paid millions and millions and billions of dollars for various missions, beloveds. And one of their most expensive missions that came to light at the end of last year, at the beginning of this year, was the fact that they got 24, I think it was 24, I wonder why that number, theologians or spiritualists from all the major religions, and they invited them over to do research for a couple of years to see, this happened in 2016, beloveds, to kind of see what would be the reaction if they were to announce to the world that aliens exist, and how would people treat it. And they were calling it something like astrobiology, and they wanted to determine how the world's religions would react should humanity find out alien life does in fact exist among the stars. Actually, those aliens are here. They're among us, beloveds. And in case you're doubting this, because you see, that's the power of the narrative, beloveds. The narrative can create something in your life and it can erase something in your life. It can make something not exist. And that's the danger of having such low-level demonic entities controlling our group thought, beloveds. Because they have literally hidden, I told you, there's more than 7 continents on this plane alone. Some say there are 33 in total. There's different worlds, there's different nations, even amongst us, even on these 7 continents. If you were just to research how many no-go zones are there, or how many trails have been blocked, between Africa and Europe, Africa and the Caribbean, and how everything has been made to seem like it's so apart and so, so far apart when it's actually so close together. But this shows you the power of the narrative, that they can feed you a story, a religious psychosis, literally, that will make you erase from your vision. Because another thing is, they took us from our other senses. They've lowered us to just 5 senses. When you have more than 100 senses, beloveds, that's when now you're operating as a god, They've lowered us to, and their physical senses, which can be deceived. Because if you're not seeing with your spiritual eye, your first eye, beloveds, there's a problem. You can easily be a victim, or you are a victim of the Babylon system. And I mean, there's so many ships that are being, viewed now over the divided states. And over Mount Zion, beloveds, whenever there's rain, I can't share the whole thing, but whenever there's rain, I'm telling you, there's always this thunder. And it sounds like a freaking spaceship is just coming to land or deposit that water. And there are some amazing myths, which I haven't been allowed to share, so I won't share here. But there are some amazing, not even myths, I'm sorry to even call them myths, stories of how these water towers, like Mount Zion, Mount Ruwenzori, and many others, used to be deposited with fresh water. And it wasn't through written. Very, very mystical stuff, beloveds. Have you ever wondered why most of the spaceships that are seen are over the divided states? Maybe Trump's space force is already in station, because you see, they're fighting here. They're fighting the people in the dome, beloveds. And it's like, so many people are starting to recognize that we are not alone, that they now want to manipulate that story because it's coming out. And that's what they always do. They'll hide something. And then by the time it's about to come out, they'll now create their own narrative. It's the whole thing with the Jesus story, beloveds. When us melanated people started to do our research and started to look at the similarities with Heru, or the fact that the New Testament, someone emailed me, actually mirrors the Old Testament perfectly, and kind of takes those characters and then makes them larger than life. Whenever they see like the truth is coming out, they'll now twist the story. So when people were starting to find out about Jesus, all of a sudden, the theory started coming out that, yeah, Jesus was black, blah, 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 this character. Then they said Arab. Like, actually, most of the churches, like the old school churches, the Catholics and the Anglicans, started to say, the color doesn't matter. The color is irrelevant. It's about his message. Beloveds, they've played so many mind tricks on people. And how crazy that they have such control of a narrative that they can disclose something. Because they've done everything to stop all these images of, people seeing these spacecrafts, etc., etc. But they still go viral, and people are still seeing them every day. And then they'll say it's, Photoshop. There's so much propaganda against this, because they want to be the ones to tell you how it happens. And you know why it's taken so long? Is because those supposed aliens are our star family, beloveds. They're our family. They're our cosmic family, and they're our earthly family on other continents that we don't have access to. Because we've been quarantined, beloveds. Antarctica is a big wall. It's not a continent. And you see what happens when the most down-pressed, according to them, the most targeted humans on this planet, the rightful rulers, find out that not only do aliens exist, but they look like them. How much of a paradigm shift will there be? And the reason I always call this a religious psychosis, beloveds, is because there's certain truths that they've made you think are so alien that when they disclose them to you, if it's not done correctly, it could literally shatter you. Anyway, let's take a short break. We'll be right back. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, Africa. Welcome back, beloveds, to Wake Up Africa. My name is Dr. Mumbi Seraki. So aliens exist, beloveds. It's not a joke. It's not a made-up thing. And, the government, the global rulership, the global cabal, first of all, blocked you from them by creating a narrative that left them out, removing books like the Book of Enoch from the sacred text, where he talks about dragons and aliens and giants and everything, removing all that kind of literature, and then presenting it to you as magic, as Marvel movies, as cartoons, as Disney movies. These people have no imagination. Everything you see is copy-paste. Like what they think they've heard either our ancestors speak of, or what some of them have seen or documented, they will now turn into a movie. But it's based on them observing us. Absolutely every technology, every invention, every story, beloveds. Every. And the way they designed, you see, the prison, the enslavement, the takeover, the colonization was mental, where they framed our narrative and they said only this exists. Only what can fit on this iPad exists. Everything else is alien. And because people bought that, I mean, it was beaten in us, it was taught to us, and we were brainwashed from children. That became the only reference of our reality. And you see, you can't see what you don't believe. You can't experience what you don't know exists. But you see, Babylon needs to keep you there. Because for many, the minute you disconnect from Babylon, other worlds you hear, because they're always trying to contact us, you start to hear other worlds. And that's why I say, beloveds, please connect to your ancestors. And I need to do a show on which ancestors, because right now there's like a war of ancestors going on. It's crazy. But connect to your spiritual team, even your guardian angels, the Most High, the Creator, the Source, who all power, all strength, all everything, grace, everything belongs to Him. All energy belongs to Him, her, him, her. I mean, at that point, it's not even. But beloveds, please connect to something larger than yourselves if you want to make this, because you can't be at the mercy of these people. So when they choose to tell you aliens exist, all of a sudden aliens exist. And the one thing is, I really believe all these spaceships that people are seeing, some of them, and they're usually cloaked by clouds and everything, but beloved, some of them, I believe, is our cosmic family. And I believe some of them is the low-level technology or the ships that Babylon has been able to that they got in return. Because you see, Babylon signed a deal, and maybe I'll talk about that in another episode, with a certain demonic, blood-sucking entity. And in return for certain technologies that would put Babylon above the original nations of this place, they agreed for us to be literally enslaved, energetically enslaved, so that we could be taken advantage of. And we were in a certain dark ages, beloveds, where our higher cosmic beings couldn't reach us. But now we're in a new atmosphere, we're in a new season. And there's so much contact happening both inside, because the majority of contact, because we've been so blocked with the religious psychosis, is happening within, where you connect with your spiritual team. And if you were to go deeper, your spiritual team will reveal themselves to you as spirit, as you can take it right now. But if you were to go deeper, you'd realize that, there's dragons, there's fairies, there's all kinds of beings, beloveds, that are part of your spiritual team. But the big thing is, I think in Africa, this thing, I don't think people have not been prepped for this at all. And you know why? It's because it's our family. So when we see them, we'll freak out and we'll run. That's the whole idea. And that's why this spiritual awakening is happening, beloveds, primarily amongst our people. Even if you can't see it, it's happening. It's like coming from the earth. Because we have to start pushing beyond this very limited and, this mental imprisonment, which is only through the narrative. Like the narrative is it. That's how they're able to do it. But things don't change. Things are about to change, beloveds. And oh my God, I nearly, and you can see it because of now them wanting to do the alien disclosure. And they've been planning the alien disclosure for ages. But they want it to be in their benefit, on their terms. And let me tell you, beloveds, a lot of the aliens that they will try to show that look like Mzungus or whatever may actually even be lab created, clones, etc., etc. Because they want to keep dominion at all costs. So if they feel like, our melanated people are coming back, they may even show up like the characters in the movie, literally. It's like that whole thing they were going to do of the Messiah, the Mzungu Messiah appearing in the sky. People think it's like they'll see like Jesus floating. But it's talking more about the ships, our people returning, because the great spiritual rescue is here. Tuko pamoja.